Hello everyone, it's Red with RedDragonLeo.com, and it is Sunday morning. Today is, let's see, the 29th, and it looks like the crap has hit the fan, folks, finally. The bears finally rejoice on a huge move down Friday as our reality finally sets in. This all goes to, a lot of the credit goes to I guess, the fear over in the Middle East for this, but there had to be some reason. We know it was just technical. We know that when you got up there to that high, 1303, it could have went a little higher to 1313, and not to say it still might do that, but I really doubt it. I'm fairly confident. I'd say we got 80% chance right now that primary wave 3 down has started and primary wave 2 has ended, and that was from the 666 March 2009 low up to this 1303 high. I think it's done at this point, and I think we're getting ready to start the waves down. Now, with every wave, there are bounces along the way, and this move down, although it looks extremely terrifying, and with what's going on there in the Middle East and the riots and all that, you know, normally in the past I'd have called a crash on Monday. I'd have seen this and I'd have called a crash. I'd have got emotional and called a crash. And I did that too many times only to be wrong. You know, basically I was calling wolf and there was no wolf. so this time I'm not going to call wolf and say that there's going to be a crash on Monday. I don't think there will be. I think there'll be, the odds favor a gap down and then a retracement back to about flat, or spinning top, either closing slightly positive or slightly negative. That's what the odds favor. Cobra on his chart actually stated that there was an 81% chance of a positive close, and he's very good at these going back and looking at the statistics. So I like to read his stuff, and I encourage all of you to read it as well when you get the chance. But let's see, where does he say this at? Dun, dun, dun. 18%. Okay, well, VIX rose more than 18% on Friday since 1999. This means rebound next Monday or Tuesday, most likely, according to Stock Traders Almanac. The first trading day in February, the Dow and S&P was up 7 of the last 8 times. So anyway, I'll let you go and read that, but somewhere on here he did say 81% chance that the market would be up. Here it is. You've got 81% chance when this happens. So I will let you go and read that yourself. You know where that's at on my blog roll. You can find Cobra's link there as well. But more than that, you just simply go back and look at the patterns in the past, and you see that every time we have had a big move down like this, like this one here, look at this one here. Here's a perfect example. Back here in April, we had a big large move down, and then the next day you can see this tail right here, as it did probably, if that one looked like it opened flat and went down throughout the day and rallied into the close, pointing back up, rallied the next day, sideways trading the next day, rallied, then did a final pop higher. Now, I don't think that we're going to do this final pop higher. I think that's already done. I think we're more along the lines of this candle right here. Now, you can see that this was actually 2 candles, a down day that day, and then a large down day that day, and then up the next 2 days, and then down, back up, and down. You can see here lots of wild swings here. I think we're going to skip this one right here. Okay, I think where we're at, if we look over here, you can see we've already went up here, had that large down day, then the follow through the next day went down in the morning and recovered back in the evening to close with the spinning top, and then it went up the rest of the days, put in the new high above this, similar to what we had back there in April. So then if it follows the same pattern, and I believe that they will, then we should have most likely a gap down in the morning, go down to some key level, probably right around in this area here. Looks like 1260 area would be about the lowest I could see it going, and then a reversal throughout the rest of the day. Remember, this first move down is a wave one, and there'll be a lot of amateur bears on board, and they will see this gap down, they'll short right at the bottom, and then they'll get squeezed out the remainder of Monday, and then Tuesday should be up. Tuesday should be up, and then Wednesday would probably be open up, maybe go a little higher, then turn and tank back down. Very similar to, again, what's happening over here in this April area right here. Down, up, Monday, Tuesday, down Wednesday. Only I think they're going to skip because of the date and the time. I don't think it's going to go up on Thursday. I think it'll end up going boom, 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 down 3 days in a row on that particular day. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is when I think the real move down is going to start. So looking at this on the 60-minute chart, you can clearly see here that we should definitely go down here, at least tag the 1270 as this continuation move. That would be our gap down. And more likely we would go down and hit this level of support right in here in this 1260 area. That seems likely. So you go down there, you hit that, you reverse back up. You can see the charts are pretty oversold on just about all the time frames. Yeah, the 60's pretty deep right here on the histogram tower, so it's well below -2, looks like -3. It's very oversold there. It's well below 20 here, and here there's no signs of it turning back up yet. That would indicate that we could easily go down here to -5 or something, which would be the gap down in the morning. So you get the gap down in the morning, and then the reversal throughout the rest of the day, and close, like I said, and with the spinning top kind of pattern, either slightly positive, slightly negative, about flat. But I'd say probably positive. And same thing here. You can see on the 30-minute chart, we have not turned back up, even though we are oversold here and moving back up. We should, if it gaps down in the morning, this kind of dip and allow it to put in a positive divergence as it moves up. But as this would put in a lower or a higher low on the histogram towers, the market would actually move lower. That would be the positive divergence. So, and this basically would go down a little bit deeper and then come back up. Is what should happen here on the 30. So again, we're looking at the same support. This seems too daggone close. 1270 seems obvious. 1260 seems more likely if it kind of makes the same distance here from this sell-off. I don't know if it's going to have that much of a sell-off. If it gets past 1260 area and heads on down to 1250 area, that's possible. That is possible. But at that point, I definitely would expect to bounce back up. So I think the selling is going to dissipate probably by noon at the latest. It could be in the first 30 minutes. Literally, they could gap down. Depends on how far they gap it down. If they gap it down hard, if they gap it down to 1260 right off the bat, then you could very well go on down to 1250 within the first 30 minutes, and then start to turn back up, because that's a pretty far gap down, and then it should be steady up the rest of the day with corrections on the way back. It'll go up, come back down, back up, back down. It should do that several times as people try to keep getting it short and short, and they keep getting squeezed. So this Middle East thing is big. This could be our false flag that we're looking at, and we know that this was most likely planned. I think that the powers that be want these riots. They want it to come over here to America so that we will get upset too, and so that we will start rioting as well, so that they can bring on their police state and enact martial law. They've been wanting this to happen. So that kind of leads you to the question, does the birth of the internet and the social networks that are, that allow people, and blogs and stuff that allow people to spread the news and to chat instantly and tell each other what's going on, if that wasn't planned all along, if they didn't think that they would allow this to happen so that we would communicate and we would get educated about them and about what they're doing, get upset, start riots, enact World War III and a martial law state, and break up America just like they planned. So it all might be just like they planned. I just think that in the end it's going to fail, as I think it's going to get out of hand, and I think they won't be able to control it. So if we do riot here in the United States, if it spreads over here and there is riots, and I don't think they're going to be able to control it like they think. I think in the end, the bad guys lose. That's what is going to happen. And yeah, there'll be a new regime change in America too. Clean house in the Senate, and clean house in the House of Congress, the House of Senate, both of them. Clean house on both of them. Clean house of the presidency. And let's put some real leaders in there. I don't know when it's going to happen, but maybe that's what the 2012 thing is all about. But if you take this market down and tank it and crash it over the next year or two to those fake prints that we got on the downside, this is going to be an ugly America. That's for sure. You're going to have riots everywhere. But anyway, for the short terms, you can see the 15-minute definitely supports a gap down. It barely made it up here into positive territory. It is sloping down still. It didn't even get a chance to go up and put in a bear flag. I mean, it just kept on going down. So that definitely leads to believe that, we're going to sell off Monday morning and probably come down here and put in a higher histogram tower bar trough low here and create a positive divergence. So you go down here, you should certainly hit this 1271, and again, I think you could very easily go down here and hit this 1260 area, and even possibly the 1250 area. Let's see, 5-minute chart really doesn't tell you a lot. It's pointing up, but okay, gap up. Let's see, could we gap up? I give that about a 1% chance. But it's possible. I won't deny that it is possible, but the charts don't say it. But I put it out there and wrote it on the blog just because anything is possible with the POMO money that these people put in there. When you say POMO, it sounds like you're talking about a bum on the street or something, a poor person. POMO, poor me. So we go here and check out the POMO money that the gangsters are going to put in on Monday, and we find that Monday they are going to put $6 to $8 billion in there, if I'm reading that right. Or no, I'm sorry, January 28th. No, let's see which day is it. Okay, 31st. Yes, that's right. So it's either this date. I'm not sure exactly how they do it. This says January 28th through January 31st. Settlement date. Okay, operations date and settlement date. So either way, whichever date this happens, either 7 to 9 million or 6 to 8 million, depending upon when they buy it. But I think that this was bought on the 28th and settles on the 31st. And I think that's the way that works. And this is bought on the 31st and settles on the February the 1st. So everything supports a rally coming up. So, and this rally should take us back up. I am thinking probably to about 1280 to 1290 area by Tuesday or Wednesday, and that area should be your best chance to go short Wednesday morning probably, and into the weekend, into Thursday, Friday. For those of you not already short, if you're already short and you're not, holding options, you're fine. Just ride out the bounce. Because if I'm wrong and there's no bounce, and this is it, and all the past charts are different this time, and they've all changed, and we just keep on crashing down. Attilla said on his site which I'm looking for right now. He said on his site that well, he's went back to that stupid invitation only. I don't know what he does there. From time to time, I see his site do that. It will go back to private, and he says it's always free, but then you refresh your page a day later and it's back up again. I don't know. But anyway, I think I had that open on another page and I didn't hit refresh. But he's thinking crash. He's thinking crash Monday. I'll just leave it at that. He's thinking crash on Monday down to 1200 or 1150 to 1200 is what he said on his blog before it went down like that. So that is certainly a possibility. I will definitely tell you that that is a possibility. Now let's see, who else is it I was wanting to show you. I think Surge put up a good chart here as well, and he's kind of thinking the same thing I'm thinking right here. As you can see, only his is on the SPY, and I'm thinking exactly the same thing. He's not really showing you where it's going to go down to, but I think basically the same kind of thing. This area here, 126, would be a logical place for the gap down, and then gap down on the open, then sell off a little bit to hit that 126 on the SPY, which is again about 1260 or so. It could go a little further, could go down to 1250. Okay, that's a possibility. But after that, you should expect to bounce back up. And he's got it, that's 127.70. He's got 128. He's got a little higher than 128. I don't think we're going to go. We could. Well, I said what, 1280 to 1290 range. Yeah, that's. So you expect it to fall short of this right here. Wave 2 ups can be brutal. It just all depends. So just keep that in mind. There could be lots of volatility on that. It depends on how many people got short and how many of them are forced to do a short cover. So if they're forced to do a short cover and this thing, and there's a lot of them, then it could go higher than the 128, which is about 1280, and it could go up to the 129. We won't know that. We'll keep our eyes out for upside fake prints. We did have one until the close showing 130, I believe, but I think that was just a late fill from here because it was matching the open level. So when it matches the open level, you don't always think that that's going to happen. I don't think it will. I think it was 130.03 or something like that. So I don't think we're going to go up that high. I think 1280 to 1290 is about what we're going to get by Wednesday, and that is it. So Walk Like an Egyptian, that was a good song back then. That brunette girl was always the hottie. Obviously, sir, just putting this up for the turmoil over there, the rioting over in Egypt. So let's hope the good forces went out on that, and the people actually get to take control of their country. I don't know if it'll happen. I do think that as the guys here at Seeker 401 has stated, if I can find his site, Follow the Money, Seeker 401. He puts an interesting article that gives you the idea that this is Egyptian revolution or CIA regime change. The CIA commonly does this, folks, just so that you know. They commonly will go and take what would be a peaceful protest in the street about some law that their leader is doing. They will pay people off to go and get in that protest and start trouble and riot and start violence, so that the police will be there. So instead of it being a peaceful protest, it turns out to be a violent one. So this is a common trick of the CIA, and they do this so that the people end up looking like idiots to the rest of the world when they're trying to do a peaceful solution. And these people that are paid to go in there and start violence, it's very, very common. And then that way the CIA can keep the person in there that's there and arrest the poor protesters, the sheep. And in this case, obviously they're trying to get a new regime in there, and we don't know what's going to happen with that, whether it's going to be some democracy, which will, of course, be controlled by the United States. They will be friendly to the United States cartel, the gangsters on Wall Street and the elite. That's who they'll be friendly to. Or will it be someone honest and really wants to change the country? I don't know. Or worse. It could be someone even worse, a ruthless dictatorship of new people there. I don't know. I don't know who's going to get in there, who's going to win, but certainly uncertainty in the market is scaring the market. So here was basically where you can previous close. Look at that, 129.99. What's that tell you? Anyway, you can do the after hours close, and I think it would show you this little spike up. And it is, and this is just on the NASDAQ site, after hours high 130.33. I don't think we're going to get that high. I think that was a late fill. If we did real-time quotes, it might show it up in the actual print there. Yes, it is. See it right there? See this? So is this a fake print, or is this, come on, where you at? That says 130.01. It looks to me like it's almost right here at the open level, almost. So it's more likely a late fill. But so we don't know, if they're going to take it all the way back up to this point or not. But it is possible. Understand that that is still lower than the high of 130.31. If they took it back up to here on a wave 2 up, you talk about getting all the bears out. That would be brutal if we did that. So keep that in mind. But I definitely think that, come Monday, we're going to see, like I said, I think Monday we'll see a move down. And then Tuesday, I think we'll see it come back up. And it should come back up towards midday. It should start to come back up and close, like I said, about like a spinning top or slightly positive. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for a pattern similar to, where are we at? Right there. I'm looking for that pattern. Here was our down move there. I'm looking for continuation of the down move and then reversal until the end of the day and a slightly spinning top or slightly positive. Could end up looking like this, but slightly positive, like this one, or like this one. Of course, this was after several days down, but this is a very large day down. But so, there's no reason to think that this selling is over. It's just started. So down to 1260, possibly 1250, then reversed and going back up, closing with a spinning top, or slightly positive, slightly negative. Then up the next day, Tuesday, and up a little Wednesday to get in this 1280 area. And it would back test this line. If you used to draw a line right here, it could possibly get up here and back test it, hit it and back test it. It's possibility. It's this line right here. So down and you come back up. Now that's obviously higher than 1290. So I don't think it's, I could. I guess that 130.01 versus 130.31. I'm telling you, that's if they back top, go back up there and hit that, that would really, really frustrate the bears. It seems unlikely. It really does. It really seems unlikely. But I'm just telling you what the charts say right now and what history is telling you. I could be totally wrong on this. We could just gap down and crash down to 1200 or 1150 like Attilla thinks. I don't know. Really, I just don't know. But the odds say that you should fade the news, because the news is always a distraction. You should look at the charts. For the most part, they work most of the time, except in extremely manipulated situations. And in this case, the manipulation that has been going on for the last 2 years since the March low has always been to the upside. They haven't really manipulated it to the downside. They've kept it from crashing. So that would lead you to believe that they will do a bear squeeze on this move. So hopefully that helps. So if you guys see this gap down and run down here at 1260 or 1250, and you see these charts start to turn back up and hook back up, then you probably should take some profits and try to reload. If you're doing options, I'd get out of all of the options because I think we're going to rally back up. But that's your choice. But if you more of a long term, then hey, just stay and ride it out. Because after 1290, after Wednesday, I think we're just going to tank. I'm looking at this kind of pattern. After this goes up 1-2 days, I'm looking at this kind of move down. Ching, 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 ching on late Wednesday into Thursday and into Friday. That's what I'm looking for then. That's ugly. Yeah, that's a Black Friday. So, and where would that go? Well, probably down to that 1150 to 11. Right here would be a good support right there. 1180. Just on the first leg down. I don't see us going down to the 1150 area just yet. Possible. But I'm going to give him to Attilla. He's been right on calling these long-term moves, but on the short term, he has missed some. Because he's not a short-term trader. So he could be right on this move down. I definitely think he's going to be right on this move down, but I think we're going to bounce a little bit for us short-term traders to get in before it goes down and hits these 1150 to 1200 area that he thinks is possible. So anyway, that is it. I can't think of anything else. I'm going to try to do more posts. The blog has been slow and over the Christmas area, and we were getting about 100 posts, 100 comments, I should say, for the whole week. And now we got over 500, so I'm going to try to go back to doing at least every other day a new post, if not every day a new post. So there'll be shorter posts and obviously a new video with each one as well. And also, I want to say thank you to the people who decided to help me out and feed the dragon, and that is Richie and Andy. Now, Andy doesn't post on here, but he reads the blog. He's a regular reader of the blog. And of course, Richie here is also a regular poster and reader of the blog. So I want to say thanks to them for taking the time to make a donation to the Feed the Dragon. That's me, just to help out with the cost and the time that puts in. I don't put in near the time that the chart pattern guy does, so I understand his frustration. I mean, I do put in a lot of time with it, but I have other duties I have to do as well, other things to make a living, because obviously trading is not my primary living. I wish it was, but it's not. This last year's been rough on me. So if you find it in your heart to that you've anything I've done has helped you, either open you up to the powers that rule the world, or made you a profit, or whatever. If you feel like you want to donate at any time, I do certainly appreciate it. I'm not going to push it heavy like the chart pattern guy does, but I do understand why he does. Okay, so don't give the guy a hard time because he asks for it all the time. He does a lot of work. He's a good guy. Ron Walker, I think, is a good guy, and I've never met him, never talked to him, but I like him. So keep that in mind. Everybody that puts these up does this from the goodness of their heart to try to help other people out, whether they're right or wrong, and making a donation to help him out, me out, anybody, it doesn't make no difference, is always a good thing to do from time to time, just to help people out. So 2 people donated out of anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 people that read the blog on a daily basis. So there's still more of you out there if you feel like tossing me a bone. So that's it, guys. I will certainly do a video Monday, late Monday after the market closes, and add it, at least, if not do a new post. I probably won't do a new post on Monday, but I'll certainly do a new video. So again, just to recap really quickly, what I'm looking for again is a move down here. Should be guaranteed to 1270, more likely 1260. Odds favor 1260, and possibility of 1250. I'd give 1260 the highest odds. Hitting a bounce there and turning and going back up the rest of the day and closing with a slightly positive or slightly negative spinning top kind of candle. Then up on Tuesday to somewhere around 1280 to 1290. If we go higher to that fake print, then we don't know if that's a fake print or not on the NASDAQ, but that would indicate 130.01, which is slightly, again, lower than this 130.31. So it would still classify as a wave 2. One heck of a wave 2. But if it does go up that high on Wednesday on a spike down, then that is it. Then I'm looking for a massive wave 3 down on Wednesday towards the end of the day and into Thursday and into Friday. That's what I'm looking for. So if you want to talk about a black day, it's probably going to be Friday. All right. That is it. Oh, and don't forget, the Legatus pilgrimage is when? Let us see. Let us see. The Legatus pilgrimage. What do you know? The 3rd through the 5th. So when should the crash start? Right when they should be clearing their checks, cashing their checks, either right before or right after. That's why I think it's going to go down into it and continue down. I think that they'll start clearing their checks beforehand. They'll go in this meeting and say, no more stimulus, let the market crash so we can rob the public. So we're going right into this Legatus pilgrimage time period. Okay, finally, that is it. Good luck, everyone.